you knew eventually that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. would win a home run derby. Did it last night. But did you also see him nail the dude in left field with the line drive? Because that was the takeaway for me.
Woo, boy, yeah.
All these years, we see those kids running around in the outfield. Yesterday, they had the pink shirts on, so they're really easy to spot. And they're just shagging the fly balls, the ones that don't make it over the fence, right? But there was a line drive. I need the StatCast on it because it had to be triple digits on the exit velocity, and it just cranked some dude in the head, and he flailed like a cartoon character. Hopefully he's okay. I don't really know that there's going to be an update on that.
Yeah, they got him out of there real quick, which is great.
Unless you're scouring social media. Yeah. They don't have the sitting duck get hit again. But I thought it was a good show. I thought they had a really good group of 8, by the way, that was in it. A lot of years, sometimes it's like, like last year Albert Pujols was in it, and so that was really cool. But some years it seems like too many guys decline the invite. But you've got this next up-and-coming crop of young stars. It's kind of the Instagram era of baseball players, and they they want to be in things like this. Chris, I don't know how you get the NBA guys to want to be in the dunk contest in the same way. But is that a weird dichotomy there for you where, like, the young stars of baseball are now not declining the invite to the Derby? All the young studs were in there. Adley Rutschman lost in the first round, but he was fantastic. Like, is that weird to you to see MLB having all their young stars embracing this kind of event, whereas when it comes to the dunk contest, the NBA guys are, like, almost afraid to do it at this point?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how you fix that. I'm probably going to have to dig into, like, the details of, like, how, like, the home run contest is like structured, how like the dunk contest is structured, just to like see maybe it's like an injury risk, but then again, like, isn't the home run derby also like an injury risk? It's
huge injury risk.
Yeah,
you throw down how many dunks during the dunk contest? Like 3, 4, 5. It can't be
like you max out of like
41
6 or
bombs.
7.
Yeah, it's not that many, and I get that. I think it's honestly the fear of it being such a more limited scope. If you mess up, it's embarrassing. Whereas the home run derby, you got at least 3.5 minutes, basically. If you do mess up on some of your swings, other than Mookie Betts, everybody last night pretty much had a good showing. And we kind of figured that Mookie Betts would struggle, honestly. Yeah. He's not as big as those other dudes who can just absolutely mash. But even he hit like 11 home runs. So I think maybe it's that fear of embarrassment. I'm getting into the psychology of sports players right now, I realize. But I think there might be something to that when you compare MLB stars to NBA stars. But 573-5847. Give us a call or a text on what you thought about the Derby last night, and maybe why is it that MLB is suddenly figuring out ways to get its young stars into the Derby, but maybe the NBA is a little behind on trying to figure out how to hype up their All-Star festivities, if you happen to care about that topic.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like all around the All-Star Game is just kind of like down. It's been kind of on like a downward trajectory for like the past like few years or so. And I really,
for hoops?
Yeah, for hoops. I just don't really know how to fix it. I think I can understand the dunk contest in the sense that, like, so, like, the way you, like, get your paper in the dunk contest is you got to be, you got to lay down the dunk, but also there has to be, like, a little bit of, like, creativity to it. Not even a little bit. There's got to be a lot of creativity down to it. And I could totally
You got to jump over a guy, or you got to jump over a car,
gotta get on
or
a tricycle,
something crazy.
Got to jump over a mascot on a hoverboard. And it's like, I can see a lot of, like, younger stars being like, yeah, I don't really think this is for me. Versus,
it's a little too corny.
Yeah.
A little too corny for me.
Versus, like, I don't know, something like the three-point contest, which is a little bit more, I think, in the spirit of, like, the home run derby, where it's just pretty simple. Just shoot a bunch of three-pointers, and if you shoot the most three-pointers, you win. I feel like if we're going to look at anything getting, like, an upper tick in trajectory in terms of popularity for, like, younger stars, it's probably that. Other than, like, I don't know, changing the rules of the dunk contest entirely or restructuring it to make it a little bit more user-friendly, especially for, like, the young up-and-comers. Something like that.
I think that's fair. I think and I mean, you think about dunking, all the NBA guys can do it. Home runs, all the baseball guys can do it. That's why I thought that was kind of a comparison where you find those are two commonalities of the two sports as time goes on. But I feel like you're right when it comes to the NBA. Like, the All-Star Game in general doesn't seem to have the hype. I think baseball's doing a nice job. They've got a nice little mix of things going on. NBA, though, I will say this for them. I like the implementation of the Elam ending over the past few seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been able to restructure the actual All-Star Game in that way, because most of it is a complete joke, no defense, all the tropes that we think about NBA. However, the fourth quarter of those games has become more compelling because it's basically like kind of like a pickup game style where the guys in the end can really sense this game's about over. It's not about time. It's about not letting them get this bucket. And so I think the Elam ending has helped that out. But let's go on out to the KTGR hotline because we've got Dave on the line to talk some home run derby. Dave, what did you think of the derby last night?
Well, I have to admit, I didn't ever intend to watch the whole thing, but I did watch part of it. But I want you guys to refresh my memory from years ago, back when Chris Berman did it, and you actually got to see where the ball landed. I mean, they're throwing the next pitch before as soon as the ball gets hit, and I don't know. To me, it didn't. The fast pace is nice, I guess, and the pressure of you only have this many minutes, but. Did they used to get so many pitches, or how did it used to be? Do you know?
It used to be, yeah, Dave, that's a great question. I appreciate you giving us a call. So it used to be way back, you'd get 10 swings, right, Chris? Like it wasn't timed. You'd be throwing as many pitches, but it was the swing that counted. And then, so you would see those batting practice pitchers throw 1, throw 2, throw 3 before their guy kind of timing it up, getting ready. And it was all about, is he going to swing? When's he going to swing? And then you would track the flight of the ball and get to see the entire thing unfold. I thought there was merit to that, and Chris Berman was always the legend on the call. Back. Like that. That's what we all remember, right, of the old home run derbies. Then they changed the rules, and they made it this timed thing. But initially, I don't know if you remember this. I don't even know how many years ago, Chris, but do you remember the Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper year where they had changed the rules? But the rules at the time said you got to wait until the last ball lands in order to throw the next pitch.
I do remember that, actually.
With a timed story, that doesn't really make sense. That doesn't lend itself to the excitement of the game. And so what had happened was, I think it was Bryce Harper's dad that was pitching to him, and he wasn't exactly following that rule. And so then there was like a big controversy, which, like, as big of a controversy as you could have with the home run derby, like, who cares, really? But that was the thing. It was like Kyle Schwarber. A lot of fans thought he got robbed of the home run derby by Bryce Harper and his dad. And so now funny. I think they make it like rapid fire, do as many of them as you can. And where it really does work is when a guy like a Rosarena, who just is trying to pull every home run that he hits, and you know his pitcher is trying to get it like on the inside part of the plate or even inside of inside, so he can just turn those hands and mash it. It works when those guys go bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just keep going one after the next. That's when this format, I think, is really fun because it almost gets to just be comical. They're like cartoon circus characters mashing these baseballs at a crazy pace. And like, what's the highlight of the night last night? It's Julio Rodriguez hitting 41 and breaking a record.
Yeah.
I think they're going for those kinds of moments. I don't know exactly how you fix it to have it be as exciting in the finals, but the first round is really compelling, I think, because you just don't know who's going to show up and what they're going to do. And until you kind of start to see it unfold, it's the mystery of what do we expect from this guy? We know he's a great ball player, but what's he going to do in this type of format? And who can do something superhuman that we just haven't seen before? Last night, the answer was Julio Rodriguez, and so I think that brings a lot of compelling aspects to it, Chris. But it is a good point that they've tried to tweak this over the years, and it didn't used to be that way, Dave. Appreciate the call. It did used to be count your swings. I think you get 10 of them, and it was a little bit of a different way to go about it. Anticipation would build more, but we're the Instagram era, Chris. We're the TikTok era. We need it hot and heavy. We need it fast, and we need to see that next swing.
You got the 90-second highlight reel? Yes, you do. Get it out.
If the last one was a ground ball, I don't have anything to do with it. Throw the next pitch. Well, just so maybe that's kind of the reason that it's changed over the years. But give us a call with what you think. Or a text at 573-875-5847.